What happens when I say one cruel sentence in public and my husband answers later with papers in a bright lobby, in front of people who know us? How did I go from laughing with my friends to standing still while a clerk reads out rules that start today? My name is Araminta Price, but people call me Mint. I was 34 then, and I worked at a dental clinic. I managed the front desk, the phones, the schedule, and the small problems that always came back. I liked control. I liked being the one who knew what was happening first. At home, I wanted the same thing. I told myself I deserved it. That night was Ethan's dinner. He had a work milestone, and his parents wanted to celebrate. We met at a family restaurant with a long table, bright lights, and too many voices. The kids had crayons. Lila drew a house with 2 doors. Noah tried to fold his napkin into a boat. I noticed little things like that, but I did not slow down for them. Ethan sat across from me. He looked tired in a clean way, like he was trying hard to be steady. He had picked a simple shirt and combed his hair. He looked like someone who wanted peace. I looked like someone who wanted a stage. I had done my hair and worn the kind of dress that makes people look twice. I told myself it was for the dinner. I also knew it was for attention. My sister Dahlia arrived late and loud. She hugged me and asked if I was ready to have fun. I said I was always ready. Tessa, my friend, came too, even though it was family. I had invited her. I liked having a witness on my side. Ethan's mother, Ruth, leaned in and asked how work was going. I said it was busy, but I was on top of it. Ethan's father, Gordon, asked Ethan about his job. Ethan answered in a careful voice. He kept the talk on facts. He said what project he finished and what his team did. People nodded and smiled. I felt something sharp inside me. I did not like how easy it was for them to admire him. I did not like how safe he looked. I told myself he got that safety because I carried the messy parts. I told myself I worked harder in life. I told myself I was the brave one, and he was the comfortable one. When the food came, I watched Ethan cut Noah's chicken into small pieces. Ruth touched Lila's hair and asked about school. Ethan smiled at Lila and asked what she drew. Lila said it was our house. Ethan asked why there were 2 doors. Lila said she liked choices. Ethan laughed softly. I did not. I noticed my phone on the table. A screen lit up for a second. I flipped it down fast. It was nothing important, I told myself. It was a vendor message, I told myself. I kept my face calm. Later, someone suggested a toast. I was already waiting for it. I stood, held my glass up, and looked down the table like it was my room. Ethan looked up at me, and I saw a small warning in his eyes. It was the look he got when he wanted to stop a storm before it started. I said I wanted to be honest. I said, people should not pretend life is perfect. I said I made poor choices when I was younger. I said one of those poor choices was marrying Ethan. It landed like a match. Dahlia laughed first. Tessa made a sound like she could not believe how bold I was. A few cousins laughed too, the kind of laugh people do when they want to be part of the moment. Someone at the far end lifted a phone. I saw the lens. I did not stop. Ethan's smile went thin. He asked me, very quiet, what I meant. I said he should relax. I said it was a joke. I said everyone knew I was the funny one. Ruth's face tightened. She asked if I was serious. I said she was taking it the wrong way. In that moment, I told myself the truth was better than kindness. I told myself respect follows results, and I had results. I ran the house. I ran the calendar. I ran the kids' needs. Ethan just showed up and got praise. That was how I framed it in my mind. Ethan asked me to sit down. He did not raise his voice. He asked me not to do this here. I said he was being sensitive again. I said he always tried to control the mood. I watched people's eyes move between us, and I felt powerful. I hate admitting that, but it is true. The rest of dinner tasted like salt. Ethan spoke less. He focused on the kids. He asked for the check early. Gordon said nothing, but his jaw looked locked. Ruth kept her hands folded. Dahlia leaned close and told me I was iconic. Tessa said I had guts. I drank that praise like it could fix me. When we left, the night air hit my face. Ethan walked ahead with Noah on his hip. Lila held my hand for a few steps, then let go. In the parking lot, Ethan asked why I needed to humiliate him. He asked if I hated him. I said he was twisting things. I said he was making a scene over a joke. I said he should be grateful I stayed with him at all. He asked if I heard myself. I said he always acted like I was the problem, and I was tired of it. I watched his hands tighten on the steering wheel. He did not speed. He did not swerve. He kept driving like a person trying to be lawful, even inside his feelings. At home, the kids went upstairs. I heard the bath water. I did not help. I walked into the kitchen and opened my phone. The family group chat already had the video. My cousin had posted it with laughing emojis. Tessa had replied with a crown emoji. Dahlia had typed that I was unstoppable. I felt a rush in my chest. I told myself this proved I was right. Ethan came down later. He asked me to take the video down. I said I could not control what other people posted. I said he should stop caring about what strangers think. He asked if I would at least ask them to delete it. I said he was overreacting and embarrassing me now. He turned away. He did not slam anything. He did not call me names. He walked into the small office corner near the pantry. I heard a drawer open and close. It sounded like a careful click, like a lock. When he left, I looked at the wall calendar. A new reminder was written in neat letters, Riverside 10:20 a.m. Under it, I saw another repeating note. Meeting, personal. I asked him what that was. He said it was something he needed to handle. I asked if it was about me. He said it was about the family. I said he was being dramatic again. He did not argue. He rinsed a cup, set it on the far side of the counter, and walked past me like I was smoke. I stood in the kitchen and told myself I had won. I told myself I had finally said what needed to be said, but when I looked at the video again, I saw Ethan's face in the background, right at the moment my sentence landed. He did not look angry. He looked like someone taking a silent note. Then my phone buzzed again, and I saw my own name tagged under that video. The next morning I woke up with the kind of headache that feels like shame, but I did not call it that. I called it stress. Ethan was already up. I heard him moving around upstairs, soft steps, no anger sounds. That almost bothered me more than yelling. When I went into the kitchen, his mug was on the far side of the counter again. My mug was closer to the sink. It looked small, but it felt like a message. Ethan asked if I wanted coffee. I said I could make my own. He asked if we could talk about last night. I said there was nothing to talk about if he would stop being dramatic. He said he did not want drama, he wanted respect. I told him respect has to be earned, and I was tired of carrying him. He did not argue back. He looked at the kids' lunch bags, checked their water bottles, and asked Lila if she had her library book. Lila nodded, but she did not look at me. Noah asked for a second waffle. Ethan said yes. I watched Ethan do all of it and felt like he was taking my place in a quiet way. I told myself he was doing it to make me look bad. I did not consider that he might be doing it because the kids needed it. At the clinic, the air smelled like mint paste and gloves. I liked that smell because it felt clean and controlled. The waiting room was full by 9. I logged patients in and smiled on cue. My manager, Dr. Keene, asked why I looked tired. I said my husband had been acting sensitive again and kept me up with talks. Dr. Keene said marriage can be hard and asked if I was okay. I said I was fine and that Ethan was the one who needed help. Later that day, Cole Ramirez walked in with a supply box. He had been coming around as a vendor, so it was not strange, but he had started timing it better. He smiled like he already knew a secret. He asked how my week was going. I said it was busy, but I handled it. He said I looked like someone who always handled things. I liked that line too much. He asked if I was going to the regional dental mixer next month. I said maybe. He said he hoped so, because he liked talking with me more than talking about shipping labels. I laughed and told him he was smooth. He said he was just honest. That word again, honest, like it washes everything. When he left, I checked my phone and saw a new message preview from him. It was short and casual, but it was there. I told myself it was work networking. I told myself it was normal. Around lunch, Dahlia called. She asked if Ethan had apologized yet. I said he was sulking and acting like I ruined his life. Dahlia said men cannot handle truth. She said I finally took my power back. I told her she understood me. She said I should not let Ethan guilt me. She said I should go out and have fun soon, just to remind myself who I was. That evening, Tessa texted about drinks on a rooftop bar near downtown. She said it would be just us girls, but I knew she would invite whoever she wanted. I agreed fast. I told Ethan I had to stay late to cover a shift. He asked what happened at work. I said we were short-staffed. He asked if I could at least be home before the kids slept. I said I would try, like I was doing him a favor. At the rooftop bar, the wind was cold, and the music was loud enough to blur thoughts. Tessa hugged me and asked if the video was still going around. I said yes, and it was funny. She said I was fearless. Dahlia arrived in a bright coat and said I looked amazing. She asked if Ethan was crying into a pillow. I said he was probably calling his mum, because that is what he does when he feels weak. I watched their faces light up with laughter and felt safe inside it. Then Cole showed up. He acted like it was random. He said he was meeting a co-worker and noticed us. Tessa raised her eyebrows at me like she already understood. Dahlia leaned close and asked if he was cute. I said he was just a vendor. Cole offered to buy a round. I said he did not need to. He said it was nothing, and he likes celebrating strong women. I let it happen. That is the truth. I let it happen because it felt like the world was rewarding me for being bold. I told myself Ethan would never give me that feeling because Ethan always made things about duty. Cole asked where Ethan was. I said at home being moody. He asked if things were rough. I said Ethan was trying to control me and it was exhausting. Cole said I deserved someone who admired me. I did not correct him. I just drank. Ethan texted at 9:30 asking when I was coming home. I replied that I was stuck at work finishing schedules. Cole saw the message and smiled like we shared a small joke. That should have made me stop. Instead, it made me feel clever. When I finally got home, the building hallway smelled like old carpet and someone's cooking. I walked up the stairwell in heels, slow, making sure my face looked normal before I opened the door. The living room light was on low. The kids were asleep. Ethan was sitting on the couch with a laptop, but he closed it when I entered. He asked if I was okay. I said yes. He asked if I was really at work. I said of course. He said he saw the clinic posted a photo earlier, and the office looked empty. I said it was earlier, and he was being creepy for checking. He asked why I called him creepy. I said, because he was acting like a jealous teenager. He asked if I had been with Cole. I felt my stomach drop, but my voice stayed sharp. I said he was imagining things. I asked if he wanted to accuse me of every man who speaks to me. He said he did not want to accuse, he wanted truth. I told him the truth was that he did not trust me because he is insecure. Ethan stood up slowly. He said he did not want to fight in front of the kids. I said the kids were asleep. He said he still did not want to fight. He asked if we could talk tomorrow when we were calm. I said he was the only one not calm. He walked toward the hallway, and I heard a small, soft beep from his phone. It sounded like a notification, but not a normal one. It was more private. He looked down at the screen and tapped it off fast. I asked what that was. He said it was nothing important. I followed him with my eyes. He went into the guest room. He did not shut the door hard. He shut it softly, like he was practicing being gentle even when hurt. I stood there and felt a flash of fear, but I pushed it away. I told myself he was being dramatic again. I told myself he was trying to punish me with silence. Before I went to bed, I checked the group chat again. The dinner clip had more reactions. A co-worker of Ethan's had liked it. Someone commented that Ethan looked so sad. I rolled my eyes, but my chest felt tight. On the counter, I noticed 2 mugs again, set apart like they belonged to different houses. I told myself it was childish. Still, I did not move them. I just went upstairs and closed the bedroom door behind me. The weekend came fast, and I told myself I deserved a night out. Ethan said he wanted a quiet evening at home. I said we already did quiet, and it never helped. He asked if we could at least not go where people would talk. I said he could stop caring about what people say if he was stronger. The event was at a community hall near the river. It was a birthday party for one of Tessa's friends, the kind of party where everyone pretends they are close because there is music and a photo wall. The hall smelled like cheap perfume, warm food trays, and a little bit of sweat. I liked it. It felt like noise could cover anything. I wore a dress that made people look. Ethan wore a plain jacket. He asked if I could not drink too much. I said he was acting like my dad. He said he was not trying to parent me. He was trying to avoid a fight. I said, fights happen because he cannot handle my personality. Inside, Tessa waved us over. Dahlia was already there with a drink and a wide smile. She asked if Ethan was still sad about my joke. I said he was still playing victim. Ethan heard that. He looked at me like he wanted to say something, but he didn't. He walked to the side and stood near the kids' table, even though our kids were not there. He stood near the quiet corner, like that was his safe spot. I noticed people watching us. Some had seen the dinner clip. I could tell by the way they smiled at me like they knew I was bold. One woman asked if I was the one who made that toast. I said yes, and I made a face like it was no big deal. She said it was savage. I laughed. Ethan's mouth tightened. Tessa asked me to tell the story again, the way I told it. I should have said no, but I liked the attention, and I told myself Ethan needed to learn. I told myself this was truth training. I stepped into the circle of people like it was my job. I said I married Ethan because I was young and confused. I said I thought love was enough, and I learned it is not. I said Ethan was a good man, but good is not the same as strong. I said I carried the relationship while he hid behind his calm face. I said it in a voice that sounded smooth, like I was giving advice. People laughed and made those sounds that mean they want more. Dahlia touched my arm and said I was fearless. Tessa nodded hard, like she was proud. Someone lifted a phone camera. I saw it rise above the crowd, and I kept talking anyway. I told myself it was their choice to record. I told myself if Ethan did not want to be in a story, he should be a better husband. Ethan walked closer and asked me to stop. He asked me to not do this here. He said he did not want strangers talking about our marriage. I said he was embarrassing me. I said he always tries to control me when I shine. He asked why I called it shining. I said because people listened to me and that mattered. He asked if we could go home. I said he could go home if he wanted, but I was not leaving early again because of his feelings. He looked at the floor for a second. Then he looked up and asked if I wanted to destroy him. I said he was making it dramatic. I said it was a joke, and he was too soft to live in the real world. He did something I did not expect. He turned and walked away. He did not shout. He did not grab my arm. He did not threaten me. He just left the circle, went toward the coat area, and picked up his keys. He passed by me and asked, calm, if I was coming. I said no. He nodded once like he was closing a door in his head, and he walked out. For a moment I felt cold inside. Then Tessa filled the space fast. She asked where Ethan was going. I said he was having a tantrum. I said he could not handle a strong woman being honest. Dahlia laughed and said he should grow up. A few people nodded like they agreed, because people like easy stories. I went to the smoking patio with the others, even though I did not smoke much. The night air was sharp. Someone offered me a cigarette. I said no, but I held it for a second like a prop. Tessa asked if Ethan was always like this. I said yes. I said he sulks and tries to punish me with silence. I said he wants me to beg him to stay. I made it sound like I understood his pattern, like I was the calm one. My phone buzzed. It was Ethan. He asked if I was safe. He asked if I had a ride. He asked what time I would be home. I could have answered like a normal wife. Instead, I felt angry that he sounded calm. I wrote that I was fine and I would come home when I wanted. He replied that he would not argue, and he hoped I got home safely. That message bothered me more than a rude one would have. It felt like he was stepping out of the game. I decided to leave not long after, but I did not want to call Ethan. I told myself he needed to learn. I walked to the metro station alone, high on attention and also shaky. The train car was half full. People stared at their phones. I sat by the window and watched my reflection shake with the movement. I texted Cole. I told myself it was harmless. I told myself I needed someone who got me. I wrote that my husband stormed off like a child. Cole replied fast. He said I deserved better energy. He said he liked my confidence. He asked if I wanted to meet for coffee soon, just to talk. I said maybe. My hands felt warm. I hated that I liked it. When I got home, the living room was dark, except for the light from a small lamp. Ethan was not on the couch. The house felt too quiet. I heard the soft sound of a fan in the kids' room upstairs. I went to the kitchen and saw the counter clean. Too clean. Then I saw Ethan's laptop on the small desk near the pantry. It was open, but the screen went black the moment I stepped close, like it had been closed or locked fast. I did not see what was on it. I only saw my own face in the dark screen for a second, and it looked hard. On the shelf beside the desk, I noticed 2 folders. One said Utilities. One said Bank. The labels were neat, like someone wanted things to be easy to find. I told myself it was normal adult stuff. Still, it made my stomach tighten. I walked upstairs. Ethan was in the guest room with the door half shut. I knocked and asked why he left me there. He asked why I kept humiliating him. I said he humiliated himself by being weak. He asked if I heard the way I spoke. I said he was trying to guilt me again. He did not keep the fight going. He said he would talk in the morning if I wanted to speak with respect. I said he was acting like he was above me. He said he was acting like a father who needs to stay steady for his kids. I went into our bedroom and sat on the edge of the bed. I told myself Ethan was turning people against me by acting calm. I told myself calm can be a weapon too. I opened my phone and checked the community hall posts. Someone had already uploaded a short clip of my story. In the clip, Ethan's face was not angry. It was blank, like he had stepped away before he even moved. I stared at that blank face longer than I wanted to. Then I turned the phone off and told myself, again, that I was the honest one. The week after the party felt different, like the air in the house had changed. Ethan still spoke to me, but his voice stayed flat. He did not ask for my attention anymore. He did not chase my moods. He just moved through tasks like a person following a map. On Monday morning, he asked what time I could do school pickup. I said I would do it, like I always did. He asked if we could write the week on the fridge so the kids would know. I said we were not a business. He said kids need routine when adults are tense. I told him we were only tense because he made everything serious. At the clinic, I tried to act normal, but my phone kept pulling my eyes. The community hall clip was still floating around. People at work did not say much, but I felt their quiet looks. I told myself they were jealous. I told myself bold women scare people. On Wednesday, I left work early to get the kids. The school pickup line was long and slow. Cars crawled forward like a tired snake. A parent in a grey jacket leaned toward my window and asked if I was the one from the video. I laughed like it was cute. I said people online love drama. She said she hoped everything was okay at home. I said it was fine and my husband was just sensitive. Lila walked out with her backpack tight on her shoulders. She got in the car and asked why people were talking about us. I asked who was talking. She said a girl said my husband looked sad in a video. I told her kids repeat anything they hear. I said her dad was fine, just tired from work. Leela asked if Dad was going to leave. I said no, and I said it too fast. Noah came next, dragging his shoes like he did not want to move. He climbed into his seat and asked if we could get cookies. I said maybe later. He asked why Dad slept in the other room. I said Dad likes space because he gets stressed. Noah said he wanted Dad in the same hall at night. I told him he should not worry, but my throat felt tight when I said it. We went to the playground before going home, because I wanted time to think. The playground was bright and cold. Lila climbed the ladder and looked down like a little supervisor. Noah ran in circles and laughed at his own feet. I sat on a bench and watched them, but my mind kept replaying Ethan's calm face, like a wall I could not scratch. Ethan called while the kids played. He asked where we were. I said we were at the playground. He asked if we could be home by 6 because he planned dinner. I said he was acting like a schedule manager. He said dinner at the same time helps the kids. I told him the kids were fine, and he was being controlling again. He said he was not controlling me, he was caring for them. That line made me angry because it sounded reasonable. Lila came over and asked if Dad was mad at Mom. I said Dad gets moody when he does not get his way. Lila asked if I was mad at Dad. I said I was just tired. Lila said she missed when we ate together without quiet. I told her quiet is not always bad, but I did not believe my own words. On the way home, I stopped at the supermarket. I told myself it was practical, but I also wanted a normal scene, a place where nobody knew me. The store was crowded and the lights felt too white. I pushed the cart fast. Lila asked if we could get the cereal with the marshmallows. I said no because it makes her bounce off walls. Noah asked for juice boxes. I said yes because it was easier. At the checkout, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Cole. He asked how my week was going and said he hoped I was not letting negative energy win. I felt a small lift in my chest. I told myself I deserved someone who saw me as strong. I did not answer right away because Lila was watching my face. That made me irritated, like even my child was judging me. When we got to the car, Ethan called again. He asked if we were almost home. I said I was in line at checkout like he was timing me. He said okay, and told me to drive safe. His voice had no anger in it. I wanted anger. Anger would mean he still wanted something from me. We reached home and pulled into the driveway. Ethan's car was pointed toward the street, not tucked in like usual. I told myself it meant nothing. I told myself he was just in a hurry for work tomorrow. Still, it looked like a choice. Inside, the house smelled like food, but also something dry and warm, like toner or paper. Ethan was in the kitchen stirring a pot. He asked how pickup went. I said it was fine. He asked if anyone said anything weird. I said people are annoying. He nodded once, like he was filing that away. Ruth came by that evening, which I did not expect. She said she was dropping off a sweater Noah left at her place. She looked at me for a long second and asked how I was doing. I said I was doing great. She asked if I understood the damage of public jokes. I said it was a joke and she was being dramatic. She said children do not know what a joke is when it is about safety. I told her she was turning Ethan into a victim. She said Ethan did not ask her to do that. She said she saw his eyes. Gordon stayed in the doorway, polite, quiet. He asked Ethan if he needed help with anything this weekend. Ethan said he had it handled. Gordon nodded and said it was good to be prepared. I caught that word, prepared, and it stuck to me. After Ruth and Gordon left, Ethan took the kids upstairs for bath time. I heard him reading a short book in a calm voice. Lila asked him something and he answered softly. Noah laughed. It sounded like a normal house, but I was not inside that normal part. I walked toward the small office corner near the pantry. I told myself I was just looking for a pen. The desk was clean. Too clean. A stack of mail sat squared like someone measured it. I heard a low hum from the side closet, like a machine chewing. It stopped when I got close. Ethan came down and asked what I was doing. I said I was looking for tape. He said the tape was in the drawer by the fridge. I said I knew that. He watched me for a second. Then his phone lit up on the counter, and I saw an alarm label before he tapped it away. It said, "Paper drop 7:40 a.m. I asked what paper drop meant. He said it was just a reminder. I asked if he was doing something behind my back. He said he was handling life like an adult. I laughed and said he was trying to sound important. He said he was trying to sound calm for the kids. Later that night, when the house went quiet, I went into the hallway and looked toward the office corner again. I heard a soft click, like a locked drawer closing. I stood there, holding my breath, and told myself Ethan was being sneaky. I told myself I had to protect myself. Then Noah called from his room, and when I went in, he asked if Mom would still live here next month. I told him yes, but my voice did not feel steady. I told myself I could fix it if I moved faster than the consequences. That was my habit. If something felt wrong, I added noise, attention, and new plans. I did not sit with guilt. I did not call it guilt. I called it pressure. On Friday morning, I went to the gym before work. I said it was for health, but it was also for proof. Proof that I was still wanted. Proof that Ethan did not own my value. The gym lobby smelled like rubber mats and citrus cleaner. I checked my reflection in the glass door and felt a small relief when my face looked sharp. Ethan had already packed the kids' bags for school. He asked if I could sign a permission slip for Lila. I said yes, but I did not read it. He asked if we could sit for 10 minutes later and talk about the week. I said he always wanted meetings now. He said he wanted clarity. I said clarity was just control with a nice name. At the clinic, Dr. Keene asked if I could stay a little late to help with an inventory check. I said yes. Then I texted Cole during lunch anyway. I told him I needed a break from home tension. He replied fast and suggested we meet at a co-working cafe near downtown, just to talk where it was quiet. He wrote that he respected me. He wrote that I deserved peace. I told myself it was just coffee. I told myself coffee is not cheating. I told myself Ethan had pushed me into needing outside support. That was how I made it clean in my head. I arrived at the cafe after work. It had soft music, people typing, and little plants on shelves. Cole was already there, sitting in the corner like he wanted privacy but not secrecy. He stood when I came in and smiled like he was proud of me for showing up. I liked that too much. He asked how things were with my husband. I said Ethan was cold and manipulative. Cole asked what I meant. I said Ethan used silence to punish me. I said he tried to make me feel crazy for wanting normal fun. Cole nodded like he believed every word. He said some men cannot handle strong women. He said he loved how direct I was. He asked if I ever regretted marrying Ethan. I laughed and said sometimes you learn the hard way. He asked if I felt trapped. I said I felt ignored. I did not say I felt afraid. I did not want to give that away, even to myself. Cole leaned in a little and said he wanted to make me feel seen. I let the moment sit there. I did not stop it. I also did not name it. I kept it in the fog, where I could pretend it was harmless. After coffee, I walked back to my car with my phone hot in my hand. Cole texted me as I was still walking. He said he was glad I came. He added a small heart. I stared at it. Then I deleted the chat thread and told myself I was just keeping things clean. On the drive home, I practiced my face in the mirror. I planned my story. I decided I would say the clinic ran long. If Ethan asked details, I would say he was interrogating me. If he looked calm, I would say he was cruel. When I entered the house, the lights were low. Ethan was at the kitchen table with a laptop, but he closed it as soon as he heard the door. The kids were in the living room, building a blanket fort. Lila looked up at me like she was checking the temperature in the room. Noah asked if I brought snacks. I said not now. Ethan asked how work went. I said it was exhausting, and I did not want to talk. He said okay, and asked if I could look over a schedule for the kids for next week. I said he was treating me like an employee. He said he was treating the situation like it needed structure. I said structure was just his way of hiding that he did not love me. He did not snap. He asked if I could please not say that in front of the kids. I said the kids already know. Lila froze for a second and kept folding the blanket. Noah kept playing, but got quieter. Later, when the kids went upstairs, Ethan washed dishes in silence. I leaned against the counter and waited for him to ask where I had been. He did not. That made my skin itch. I asked if he was going to keep acting like a robot. He asked what I wanted from him. I said I wanted him to fight for me. He said fighting is not the same as love. He said love is care, truth, and respect. I laughed and said he sounded like a therapist. He dried his hands and looked at me, not angry, just steady. He asked if I had been seeing someone. I felt heat rise in my face. I said no. He asked if I could answer without insults. I said he was paranoid. He said he was paying attention. I tried to flip it. I said his questions were abuse. I said he was making me feel unsafe. I watched his face for a crack. There was no crack. He only said he would not argue with labels. Then he did something small that felt huge. He took his phone and turned it so the screen faced down on the table. He said from now on, he wanted communication in writing for schedules and kid logistics. He said it made things clear. I said he was building a case like I was a criminal. He said he was building stability for the children. My stomach turned. I looked past him and noticed a neat line of folders on a shelf. Household, utilities, bank. I had seen some of them before, but now they looked newer, cleaner, like he had organized them on purpose. On the side of his laptop, for 1 second, I saw a file tree again before he locked it. It said, Archive A, Archive B. He did not hide it fast like a guilty person. He hid it like a careful person. I went upstairs and opened the guest room door without asking. Ethan was not there. The bed looked slightly disturbed, like someone had been sleeping on it for days. On the dresser, I saw a sticky note that said, Bring forms. I did not touch it. I pretended I did not see it. Back in our bedroom, I scrolled through my phone and felt angry at Ethan's calm. I wanted him to yell so I could point at him and say, See? You are the villain. Instead, he was becoming quiet and clean, and it made me feel messy. The next morning, I noticed a new key on Ethan's ring. I asked what it was for. He said it was for a secure place. I said he was hiding money. He said he was protecting the family. I followed him into the kitchen and demanded he talk to me like we used to. He asked what used to meant. I said it meant he cared. He said he cared enough to do things properly now. I asked what he meant by properly. He looked at me for a long moment, like he was choosing words that could not be twisted. Then he said, calm and flat, that he would handle it properly. I thought Ethan meant a normal talk when he said he would handle it properly. I imagined a calm discussion at the kitchen table. I imagined rules, maybe a budget talk, maybe counseling. I did not imagine the downtown building with glass doors and metal detectors. He asked me to meet him after my shift. He said we needed to sign something for school and talk about the next steps. I asked why we could not do it at home. He said it was better to do it in a public place, where nobody could twist the tone. That sentence should have warned me. I still went. I parked in a lot 2 blocks away. The air was cold and sharp. People moved fast with folders and coffee cups. Ethan stood near the entrance with his coat zipped and his face plain. He did not look angry. He looked finished. I asked what this was. He said it was a process. I asked what kind of process. He said it was a legal one. I laughed like he was being dramatic again. I said he was trying to scare me. He did not answer that. He only asked if I could be respectful for 10 minutes. Inside, the lobby smelled like cleaner and paper. A guard watched people walk through. The sound of shoes on tile was loud. I felt exposed. Ethan walked in a straight line, like he had been here before, even if he had not. He stopped near a counter with signs and numbers. I asked if we were meeting someone. He said we were checking in. I said this was crazy. He said it was not crazy, it was necessary. A woman in a plain blazer stepped toward us. She did not smile. She asked Ethan his name. He said it. She asked me my name. I hesitated and then said it because I did not want to look guilty. She asked me to confirm my address. I said it. She asked if I understood she was delivering documents. I said documents for what? She said it was a filing for divorce and temporary orders. The word divorce hit my chest like a hard hand. I tried to speak, but my mouth stayed open for a second with no sound. She held out a thick packet. It was clipped and labeled. I saw my name printed in clean black letters. I saw Ethan's name. I saw the date. I saw boxes checked. I saw temporary more than once. I reached for it without thinking, and then pulled my hand back like it was hot. I said this was not fair. I said he could not do this without talking. Ethan said he had tried to talk for months. He said he asked for respect, and I laughed at him. He said he was done begging. The woman asked if I would accept service. I said I did not know what that meant. She said it meant I received the papers. I said I did not accept anything. She said my acceptance was not required for delivery in this setting. She said she was recording the time and place. I looked around and noticed people nearby had slowed down. I recognized one face from Ethan's work. I recognized a cousin of mine on the other side of the lobby, like life was playing a cruel joke. I felt my cheeks burn. I tried to control the story fast. I said Ethan was doing this to punish me. I said he hated jokes and wanted revenge. Ethan said he wanted stability and quiet. He said he wanted the kids protected from chaos. I said I never harm the kids. He said harm is not only shouting, it is also disrespect and confusion. A clerk at the counter called a number. Ethan stepped forward. He spoke softly to the clerk. He did not look at me while he spoke. That hurt more than a glare. The clerk asked if I was the other party. Ethan nodded toward me. The clerk asked me to come closer. My legs moved like they belonged to someone else. The clerk explained the temporary orders in simple words. She said the children's schedule would follow a written plan starting today. She said there would be specific pickup times, school days, and weekend time. She said neither parent could take the children out of the area without notice. She said both parents had to keep contact calm and only about the children. She said no public posts about the case or the other parent. I felt a sharp panic. I said he was trying to silence me. The clerk said it was not about silence. It was about the children's privacy. I wanted to argue, but her face did not change. She said there were temporary financial safeguards too. She said neither of us could empty accounts or create new debt in the other person's name. She said normal bills could still be paid. She said we had to exchange certain information by dates listed on the page. I flipped through the packet with shaking fingers. I saw lists and attached pages. I saw exhibits. I saw timestamps. I saw screenshots printed on paper. I saw the dinner clip title and a still image of Ethan's face while I spoke. I saw a photo of a receipt from the rooftop bar. I saw a log that matched the night I said I was at work. My stomach dropped again. I said those were private. I said he invaded my privacy. Ethan said what I shared publicly was already public, and what I deleted was still part of choices. He said he did not hack anything. He said he used lawful records and what I gave away with my own phone and my own mouth. I said he was acting like a perfect man now to make me look crazy. Ethan said he did not need to act. He said he only needed to be calm and truthful. Ruth walked into the lobby then. I did not know she would be there. She stood beside Ethan, not touching him, but close enough to show support. She did not greet me. She looked at the papers in my hands and then looked at my face, like she was finally seeing me clearly. My sister Dahlia called my phone at that exact moment. I saw her name flash. I did not answer because I did not want anyone to hear her voice. Ethan's father, Gordon, stood a few steps back with his hands folded. He looked like a person at a funeral, quiet and steady. I tried one more time to flip the blame. I said Ethan pushed me away. I said he never made me feel wanted. I said I only looked for attention because he acted old. Ethan said I could tell myself any story I wanted, but the court would follow facts. The clerk pointed to a line and said the temporary schedule began today. She said the first exchange time was after school, and it was written in the order. She said if we disagreed, we could request changes through the proper process. She said the order was effective now. I stared at the words, effective, immediately. I heard my own breathing in the big lobby. Ethan asked the clerk one question about school pickup, and his voice stayed even. The clerk answered, and Ethan nodded. I opened my mouth to say something sharp, something that would make the room turn back toward my side, but I could not find the right lie fast enough. The clerk said again that the schedule started today, and she told me the exact time Ethan would pick up the kids.